Bin Laden, a wealthy family from Saudi Arabia who is rolling in wealth and has close ties with the Saudi kingdom, the Bin Laden family business is worth billions of dollars. However, one of the Bin Laden family does not want a life like this. He is Osama bin Laden. Osama was born on March 10, 1957 in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, as one of the children of Mohammed bin Awad bin Laden, a wealthy construction tycoon with close ties to the Saudi royal family. Although raised in luxury, Osama grew up in an environment steeped in conservative Islamic values. From an early age, he showed a strong interest in religion, deepening his understanding of the Quran and Islamic law. While studying at King Abdulaziz University, Osama began to be exposed to radical Islamic ideology, especially through the influence of Abdullah Azzam, a Palestinian cleric. The idea of global jihad took root in him. Using his family's wealth, Osama financed the Mujahideen resistance against the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan in the 1980s and went directly to the battlefield. During this time, together with Azzam, he began to build a network of Muslim fighters from various countries, which later became the foundation for the founding of al-Qaeda in 1988. Al-Qaeda's vision from the beginning was to go beyond the local Afghan struggle to become a global network against Western powers, corrupt Muslim regimes, and world imperialism. However, after the Soviet Union withdrew from Afghanistan, many Mujahideen returned to their respective countries, leaving Al-Qaeda with a major challenge in expanding its network and resources. The culmination of this movement occurred on September 11, 2001, when Al-Qaeda launched attacks on the United States. 4 planes were hijacked, and 2 hit the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center, 1 hit the Pentagon, and 1 crashed in Pennsylvania. The attacks killed nearly 3,000 people, shocked the world, and prompted the United States to launch a global war on terror, including the invasions of Afghanistan and Iraq. Over the following years, Osama built his image as an ideological leader through videos, media outlets such as Al Jazeera, and internet propaganda. Al-Qaeda expanded its network into various regions through recruitment and new branches. During the war against the Soviets, the Mujahideen, including Osama's group, were supported by CIA operations. However, after the 1990 to 1991 Gulf War, Osama turned hostile to the U.S. after Saudi Arabia chose to send American troops to the Holy Land instead of entrusting the defense to the Mujahideen. This triggered further radicalization, culminating in the declaration of a jihad fatwa against the U.S. and its allies.
Viral di media sosial.
The end of Osama's story came on May 1st, 2011, through the military Operation Neptune Spear. In 2005, the CIA began receiving information about an al-Qaeda courier named Abu Ahmed al-Kuwaiti, who was known as one of Osama's confidants. After years of investigation, CIA agents managed to track al-Kuwaiti's movements to a large compound in Abbottabad, Pakistan, in 2010. The compound immediately attracted attention because of its uniqueness. A 5.5-meter-high wall surrounded the compound. There was no telephone or internet connection, despite the large building. The residents of the compound burned their own garbage, something that was rare in the area.
The CIA had been monitoring the compound for months using drones, satellites, and field agents, but they could not be 100% certain that Osama was living there. In early 2011, intelligence reports indicated a high probability that Osama bin Laden was in the compound. Despite the high risk of failure, President Barack Obama decided to launch a military operation rather than an airstrike to confirm the identity of the target. On the night of May 1st, 2011, two specially modified Black Hawk helicopters took off from a military base in Afghanistan bound for Abbottabad. One of the helicopters experienced technical problems while trying to land at the compound due to high walls forcing an emergency landing. However, the Navy SEALs team continued with the operation. The Navy SEALs stormed the building with minimal resistance. For 40 minutes, they combed every room in the compound, killing several occupants who tried to resist. Osama was found on the top floor of the building with one of his wives. He was killed after being shot in the head and chest.
Navy SEALs immediately retrieved his body for identification. The troops also collected documents, hard drives, and electronic devices found in the compound that provided important insights into al-Qaeda operations. The Navy SEALs left the site in a backup helicopter carrying Osama's body. The damaged helicopter was destroyed to prevent American technology from falling into enemy hands.
After the operation, Osama bin Laden's body was taken to the aircraft carrier USS Carl Vinson for identification. Osama's DNA was matched with several family samples which confirmed that the target who was killed was indeed Osama bin Laden. Then his burial at sea within 24 hours.
That same night, President Obama announced to the world that Osama bin Laden had been killed. Although the world accepted the news of Osama bin Laden's death on May 1st, 2011 as the end of one of the most wanted fugitives in history, the operation that ended his life was not without controversy and conspiracy theories. The official narrative presented by the United States government quickly came under intense scrutiny, raising questions from many about what really happened in Abbottabad.
According to the US government, Osama bin Laden was found in a large compound in Abbottabad, Pakistan, and killed in a gun battle with Navy SEAL. After his identity was confirmed through DNA analysis, his burial was carried out at sea to prevent his burial site from becoming a symbol of resistance for his supporters. President Barack Obama called the operation a major victory in the war on terror. However, several aspects of the operation have raised questions and criticism. Bin Laden's compound was only a few hundred meters from the Pakistan Military Academy, one of the country's most important military installations. The US government stated that Osama's body was buried at sea to avoid his grave being dug up. However, many have analyzed why his body was not released or displayed to the public as evidence. This decision has led to speculation that Osama may not have actually been killed in the operation. No official photos or video footage have been released by the US government to prove Osama's death. The government stated that the photos were too graphic to be released. Some theories suggest that Osama was not actually killed in the operation.
Proponents of this theory believe that the U.S. government deliberately faked his death to cover up military operations in Afghanistan or to divert attention from domestic political issues. It has been speculated that Osama had died years earlier from kidney disease or other causes, and that the operation in Abbottabad was merely used as a propaganda tool. This theory states that Pakistan actually knew about Osama's whereabouts and worked with the United States to hand him over.
But both chose to hide this fact in order to protect their respective images. Some believe that the entire Neptune Spears operation was a fabrication with details made to create a narrative of success for the U.S. military. Conspiracy theories about Osama's death reflect the growing public distrust of government and the media and the psychological impact of the prolonged war on terror. Rather than closing this chapter, the controversy continues to rage about the real truth. When Navy SEALs scoured Osama bin Laden's compound in Abbottabad, Pakistan, they didn't just find the world's most wanted fugitive. They also brought home a trove of hard drives, flash drives, and other electronic devices. The data contained therein not only provided insight into al-Qaeda's operations, but also shed light on a rarely revealed side of Osama's personal life: the paradox of a militant leader's life. When the data contained in these devices is explained, it is surprising and in some cases baffling. Osama's hard drive contained various cartoons such as Tom and Jerry and documentaries, including those about himself. There were even anime video files and Hollywood films. This fact shows the human side of Osama, someone who watches entertainment like ordinary people, even though he led a global terrorist network. The hard drive is full of Osama's speech videos, strategy text files, and materials for recruiting new members. There are several computer tutorial files such as basic software usage guides. This suggests that Osama may have tried to keep up with technology to support al-Qaeda or simply learn new skills in isolation. Several simple game files were also found, triggering speculation whether it was for himself or his family members who lived together in the compound. The contents of this hard drive reveal Osama bin Laden as a complex and paradoxical figure. On the one hand, he was a militant leader with a clear global strategy and great ambition to fight the Western powers. On the other hand, he was a human being who watched cartoons, wrote emotional letters to his family. He continued to strategize, give orders, and use the media to keep the narrative of resistance alive. This data shows that propaganda is one of Osama's weapons. The death of Osama bin Laden in 2011 did not immediately end his influence. The ideology of global jihad that he spread through al-Qaeda has spread far beyond him. Osama's vision of resistance to the West and the establishment of a global caliphate continues to inspire extremist groups around the world. But Osama's legacy is not limited to extremist groups. Global security policy has changed dramatically because of his influence. The world has entered a new era of digital surveillance, military buildup, and counterterrorism policies that often spark controversies about privacy and human rights. This is Osama, a young man of great wealth who chose the battlefield as his life story.